What's up guys and welcome back. Today I want to talk about OX project and their governance token ZRX. What they do, what their token is, and whether or not I'm bullish on this project long term. And if you've been looking at OX and ZRX, then make sure to stay tuned because later in this video I'm going to be talking about where the value for ZRX comes from and one very important distinction to be made between OX Labs and the OX protocol. Let's do this. One of the core themes I'm keen to be invested in for 2022 is middleware. Middleware is the operational infrastructure that supports applications. And if you're betting on the growth of decentralized finance over the coming years, then it makes sense to be bullish on the infrastructure that powers DeFi apps. Now, I may be a little biased given that I've spent the last decade building this kind of software in the traditional finance space, but I do feel that it often gets overlooked, even though it's vital to the day-to-day operations of the apps we use. And when these things gain critical mass, they usually end up with a monopoly over their vertical. So in my opinion, middleware is one theme to keep a close eye on for 2022. And today I want to cover OX project in particular. More and more trading is being done on decentralized exchanges. But given the number of DEXs out there and how they function, it's only natural that there would be discrepancies in the price of any given token at any given time. This is where OX comes in. If you're planning to build a DApp, chances are you'll want to use OX's API. OX is a decentralized exchange aggregator API. What this means is that OX aggregates decentralized exchanges, letting you trade across almost all DEXs so that you get the best possible price and liquidity when buying or selling DeFi tokens. Now, the API part just means that OX provides this infrastructure to DApps so that they can build on top of it. A good example of this is Matcha.xyz, which was built by OX project to showcase their API. Matcha lets you trade all DEXs at once, finding you the best prices across exchanges and combining them into one trade. So instead of going to Uniswap or going to SushiSwap or any other DEX, you go straight to Matcha and it pulls quotes from as many DEXs as possible in order to execute your trades at the best possible price. Of course, this is incredibly valuable to DApps, which don't want to waste time integrating with a ton of decentralized exchanges. Instead, they can plug into one endpoint and offer their users the best trade prices, leaving them to focus on building core features that matter most to their users. Another great thing about OX is that it's not just on Ethereum. It also aggregates trades from AMMs on BSC, Avalanche, Cello, Phantom, and Polygon. And they have access to liquidity that other aggregators don't, through their own order book and private liquidity pools. But it gets better. OX recently launched their own RFQ system. RFQ stands for Request for Quotes, and it's basically a cross-chain OTC system for large traders. What this means is that the OX API not only aggregates on-chain pools, but also requests real-time quotes from market makers on behalf of its clients. And this is the kind of infrastructure that sophisticated financial institutions will need as they enter the DeFi space. Today, OX is used by MetaMask, DeFi Saver, Rari Capital, and Zappa. And that list is only going to grow as more builders begin to build in this space. But what's the catalyst that's going to drive the future growth of OX? Well, the big one that I believe in is mainstream adoption, and credit to Adam Cochran for his mega thread on Twitter that covers ZRX and led to this video, where he asked the question, when mainstream users join the space, where do we send them? The obvious answer is to wallets and aggregators like MetaMask, Zappa, and Argent. It's not like they can just jump straight into SushiSwap and begin trading. So as more users come in, including retail and institutional, we can expect the volume transacted through OX to increase. And as they say, a rising tide lifts all ships. What about where OX stands today? OX did over $100 billion in trade volume last year. Yes, that's a billion with a B. In fact, if I go into their analytics right now, I can see they've done over $600 million in the last 24 hours. And that figure is only going to grow as we get mainstream adoption. That sums up the bull case for OX, but what about ZRX? It's really important to make the distinction between OX Labs and ZRX. OX Labs is the company and the project. ZRX is the governance and rewards token for the OX protocol. ZRX holders do not have control over OX Labs. So how do ZRX holders benefit from the success of OX? Up until recently, ZRX holders could stake their tokens with market makers in order to earn Ethereum rewards. But staking rewards have been slashed whilst OX experiments with their fee structure. And as far as governance and rewards go, these are pretty opaque when it comes to ZRX, which probably explains why the token has taken a beating of late. The current market cap is about $400 million. Compare that to SushiSwap, which does similar trading volume and has a market cap of $800 million, and you'll see why I think ZRX has potential. But the big difference is that Sushi has a clear fee distribution model. So for ZRX to really take off, we need to see the team introduce a clear reward structure for ZRX holders. At the end of the day, it has massive potential, but we don't know how much of that potential upside is going to be captured by ZRX holders. Personally, I see this as an asymmetric play where I've taken a small amount of exposure, but I'll be keeping a very close eye on it. That sums up everything I know about OX and ZRX. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please smash that like button. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. As always, this is not financial advice. Do your own research and let me know your thoughts in the comment below. That's a wrap.